there was a tragedy in your family, which led you to ultimately be involved in the organization you're in today, which led you to meet Andrew and this just national platform that you're doing.
Yeah.
Do you mind? And I don't want to
Please.
pry. This is always a touchy. I
No.
never know what to say when you get to matters of the heart like this. But
Yeah.
what happened?
Yeah, no, so we were married 22 years. We have 3 children. 2 of our children are Army combat vets.
Okay,
And he struggled with demons for years and years and years. We looked like the better gardens and home family.
sure.
We looked great from the outside, but inside our home there was so much darkness. There was pain. There was a lot of hurt.
Uh,
Um,
was a lot of that? I'm sorry. Was any of that a lot of it military related or other things?
Not so much military. It was childhood trauma that he
Okay.
had experienced,
Okay.
and that of course just led to some other poor choices later in life, and
Sure.
so struggled for many, many, many years. And in 2007, he committed suicide.
Ugh.
So he was um, he he left this planet and was free from his demons. The challenge, though, was that he left those demons to his children,
Hmm.
and so as a result of his suicide, my children have struggled for it's been 13 years. Everything from addictions, poor
Hmm.
relationships, bad health. If we took the self-help section in the library, my family can have at least written a chapter in every single book.
Oh my
I mean,
goodness.
we are so diverse with our dysfunction. We've covered the gamut.
Were there signs of his suicide? Did you pick up on prior leading up to the event?
I did. I did. I saw him spiraling. This man is bigger than life. He was a fighter pilot. He was an MD. He went to medical school.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
he flew with the airlines for 21 years. So he finished medical school. Then went to one of his Naval Academy reunions, and all of his friends were flying, and they were tan and had lots of money, and he was pasty white. We were broke because he was still in medical school. So he finished medical school, then started flying with American Airlines. So bigger than life. Man's bigger than life.
So I mean, mental illness and depression, and that has no judgment as to age, social economic
No,
class, education, background. It's everybody.
it's everybody. And
Wow.
like I said, he was a bigger than life man. Carried a huge presence.
Wow. Was it ever a thought that in your head that he might commit suicide?
Not till the very end. Well, no. I knew something was really wrong. And this is an interesting part of the story. Stephanie was actually downrange at the time. Stephanie,
Your
my oldest daughter.
Okay.
So she was actually in Afghanistan at the time. So when I got the knock at 1 o'clock in the morning, there were 2 uniforms outside my door. They were policemen, but my first thought was, this is DOD showing up at my door.
Oh.
And so when I opened the door, I just knew that it was Stephanie. They're telling me that because she was a gunner in a Black Hawk, and she has over 300 combat hours. So I knew she
Oh
was in
my
a role
goodness.
that was a very real possibility. So when I
Oh.
opened the door, I braced myself, and then they told me it was Rand, and I stood there, and I didn't react, and so they kind of were like, "Do you hear what we just told you?" But what they didn't understand what was going on in my head.